Hi there, welcome to Tuesday's craft activity. So if you missed our session this morning, then you can catch up by doing your very own tie-dye. What you will need is a white garment, whether it's a t-shirt. This I just happen to have a pair of trousers that are white. You'll need the baggie that says Tuesday tie-dye, and inside there you should find that you've got some disposable gloves, but that you also have a little, or you might have one or two of these, but a little sachet of dye with salt mix. And the first thing you need is you need your parent to help you mix this up. So you empty the salt and the dye, this little sachet, into a container that is large enough to contain 650 millilitres of warm water. And so you pour that in, then add the warm water, and you should end up with some dye like this. We've tried to give you the colours that you have asked for. So this is red, and I think this one is black, but you mix up, give it a stir with a spoon, and then put it to one side because you don't need it right now. When you come to dye, when you've made the dyes up, make sure that they are on something like cut open a bin bag and place them on that so you can protect the surface, because the last thing that we want is you knocking the dye over and wrecking things. So if you can do this outside, go ahead and do it outside, but if not, then you can do it on a hard surface in the kitchen near the sink. You might even want to do it in the sink. So you're going to take your item of clothing like this. So I've got a leg to my trousers. And all I'm going to do is, with my rubber bands, I'm going to take a piece of the fabric and I'm going to twist it round like this. That looks like a good piece that I've twisted. I'm actually going to fold it in half to add to it, and then I'm going to take my rubber band and I'm going to wrap the band around the piece of fabric that I've twisted. You don't need to twist the fabric, you can just scrunch it up, you can do whatever you like. Now where the rubber band goes is where the dye is not going to go, so you're going to put it on where you don't want dye to go on the fabric. Okay. Now you see that you've been given quite a few of these rubber bands, and so all you do is you just keep adding rubber bands to different parts of your t-shirt or pillowcase or trousers or jumper, whatever you have, and you put the rubber band round and make it as tight as it can go. There we go, there's another one done. And then you're going to take, I'm going to take another one, and I'm just going to wrap this one round lots of times. It can be a little bit difficult to get to going, but once you know what you're doing, it's fine. Now you can also do this craft with string. If you have a ball of string, you can cut off different lengths of string and you just tie the string round the area. So I'm going to put another rubber band round here like this. And then I'm going to tighten it up. So with trousers a little bit harder because there's a lot of fabric and a lot of adult trousers to get through. But as a child, and if you've got a t-shirt, you should be able to make lots of these little sections. There we go. There we go. So you do this until you've used up all your bands, and then that's when you're ready to take, when you're happy with it, you take your dye, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric and you're going to dip it into the dye, and you're going to let it soak in. Oops, sorry about that, I hit the camera. You're going to let it soak inside the dye for 2 hours. So it's going to take quite some time. It can be in there for longer than 2 hours, but it needs to be in there for a minimum of 2 hours. Then when you take it out, you're going to take your item or your fabric out of there. It'll be wet, So make sure you give it a squeeze, put your plastic gloves on, disposable gloves, give it a squeeze the dye back into the container, take it out, and then start to run it under a cold tap. So you're rinsing off any dye. You'll see that the dye's coming out, but that's okay, it will still stay, and you're going to rinse off any of the excess dye because it doesn't need it all. And then you can either throw it in the washing machine if you have that facility to hand, and you can give it a cold wash or a dark wash, a quick wash, because obviously it's not dirty, it's just you want to get rid of all the excess dye. And then when you take all the rubber bands off, you will be left with whatever pattern you made. So this is one that I made earlier, and you can see that it came out really well with lots of bright colours. So there's some paler bits and some darker bits, and it just depends on how much of the fabric was in the dye and how long you left it in the dye for. So hopefully you will have fun making your very own tie-dye t-shirt, and we'd love to see you wearing it on Friday for our end of Holiday Club celebration. So we will speak to you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.